I'm Carlos Eduardo, and today I want to talk directly to Cowboys fans about where this franchise really stands right now, what this latest announcement actually means, and why this moment matters more than a lot of people want to admit. Let's be honest with each other from the very start. Missing the playoffs once is painful. Missing them 2 years in a row in Dallas hits different. This is not just another team. This is not just another market. This is the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. And when the season ends in January without playoff football, the silence feels louder inside AT&TStadium than the noise ever did on Sundays. The Cowboys officially closed the 2025 season with a 7-9-1 record, slightly better than the year before, when they went 7-10, but still not good enough. Second place in the NFC East, 12th in the NFC, and for the second straight year, watching the postseason from home. From my perspective, that matters more than any small improvement in the standings, because in Dallas, progress without results doesn't satisfy anyone. Not the locker room, not the front office, and definitely not the fans. Now, just days after the season ended, the Cowboys made a quiet announcement. No press conference, no dramatic statements, just business. 9 players signed to reserve and future contracts. And I want to be very clear here, because this is where context matters. These moves are not headlines. They are not promises. They are not solutions. But they are signals. What I see on this roster move is a front office that knows it cannot afford to stand still. These are low-risk developmental contracts. Players who did not make a meaningful impact in 2025. Players who don't count against the 53-man roster right now. Players who will have to fight for everything when training camp arrives. And in my opinion, that tells us a lot about how the Cowboys are approaching this offseason. Let's talk about the reality first. The Cowboys did not miss the playoffs because of bad luck. They didn't miss because of one injury or one bad call. They missed because they were inconsistent, offensively, defensively, situationally. From my perspective, this team never fully figured out who it wanted to be when the pressure was highest. Dak Prescott is still the quarterback of this team, and that matters. When Dak is healthy, when he's protected, when the offense is balanced, he gives Dallas a chance every single week. But if I'm being honest with Cowboys fans, the margin for error around him has shrunk. The league is faster. Defenses are smarter. And the Cowboys can't keep asking Dak to be perfect while the structure around him fluctuates. CeeDee Lamb continues to be one of the most dynamic receivers in football. He's not the problem. He's the standard. Micah Parsons remains a game wrecker, a defensive force that offensive coordinators lose sleep over. Trayvon Diggs, when healthy, changes how quarterbacks attack the field. These are real stars, real building blocks. And that's what makes the last 2 seasons so frustrating. Because the Cowboys are not talent poor. They are execution poor when it matters most. From my perspective, that's where this announcement fits in. Signing 9 players to reserve and future contracts doesn't fix your offensive line. It doesn't solve red zone struggles. It doesn't suddenly make you tougher in December. But it shows that Dallas is already stacking bodies, competition, depth, options. And in today's NFL, that matters more than people think. These contracts are usually handed out to practice squad players or late-season free agents. They're inexpensive, they're flexible, and they come with no guarantees. And honestly, I like that approach at this stage, because what it tells me is that the Cowboys are not pretending everything is fine. They're not running it back blindly. They're opening the door for competition at multiple positions. Running back, wide receiver, offensive line, defensive end, secondary, special teams. The variety here is not accidental. From my perspective, it's an admission that depth failed this team at critical moments. When injuries hit, when fatigue set in, when the season stretched into late December, Dallas didn't have enough answers. And that's where history comes in, because this franchise knows what championship standards look like. This organization was built on accountability. Tom Landry didn't talk about potential. He demanded execution. Roger Staubach didn't lead with excuses. He led with results. Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. Those teams didn't care how pretty it looked in October. They cared about January. That's the weight of the star. That's what America's team really means. It's not about popularity. It's about expectation. This is Dallas football. This is pressure. This is legacy. From my perspective, the last 2 seasons have shown a team caught between eras, not rebuilding, not contending, talented but incomplete, dangerous but inconsistent. And that's the hardest place to live in the NFL because it tempts you to believe you're closer than you really are. The NFC East doesn't wait. Philadelphia isn't slowing down. New York is always looking for a reset. Washington is unpredictable but aggressive. And every year, that division reminds you that reputation doesn't win games. Preparation does. AT&TStadium, or Jerry World as fans love to call it, is still one of the most intimidating environments in football when this team is rolling. You can feel it when that building believes. You can hear it when momentum shifts. But belief has to be earned. And over the last 2 seasons, too many home games felt tense instead of dominant. In my opinion, the Cowboys are at a quiet crossroads. Not a dramatic one, not a headline-grabbing one, but a real one. These roster moves are the first brushstroke of a much larger picture. Free agency is coming. The draft is coming. Coaching decisions will matter. Scheme adjustments will matter. And most importantly, accountability will matter. If I'm being honest with Cowboys fans, 2026 cannot be another year of almost good enough, almost consistent, almost dangerous. This fan base has waited too long for that kind of comfort. There's reason to believe this team can rebound. There's reason to believe the core is still strong. But belief without action is meaningless in this league. And from my perspective, this offseason will tell us everything about how serious the Cowboys are about changing the narrative. These 9 players may never see meaningful snaps. Some may not make it past camp. That's the reality. But the message is clear. Competition is coming. Nothing is guaranteed. And that mindset is exactly where it needs to start. So as we look ahead to training camp in July, to roster battles, to preseason reps that suddenly matter more than people think, remember this. Championships are not built in January. They're built in moments like this. Quiet decisions, honest evaluations, hard choices. And to Cowboys fans watching this, feeling frustrated, feeling tired of waiting, feeling like you've heard it all before, I get it. I see it. And I won't sugarcoat it. But I will say this. This franchise still has the pieces, still has a platform, still has the pressure that forces greatness when it's handled the right way. From my perspective, the story of the 2026 Cowboys hasn't been written yet, but it will be shaped by what happens right now, when no one is cheering, when no one is watching, and when the work either gets done or it doesn't. This is Dallas. And in Dallas, the standard never changes.